So let me ask you, does it feel like everybody wants your money? Like suddenly the more money you make, the more hands there feels like they're out there grabbing at your pockets, trying to get the money that you've just worked so hard for? Well, reality is yes. The more visible, the more you grow, the more people are going to notice you and they're going to go, hey, they're doing really well. Let me pitch my services because maybe I can make some money. There is that reality. There's also a piece in here. There's a piece for us to kind of go a little bit deeper and look beyond the surface. So there's the obvious. We can get mad at the people who are pitching us just because we make more money, or we can take a look and say, okay, well, what's creating that being something that's really annoying? Why is that so annoying to me? Because reality is people can ask. And honestly, you've gotten this far in your business because you've asked for things. So if you were okay with people asking you and you were okay with saying no, there's the clincher. If you were okay with saying no, then it probably wouldn't bother you that people ask because you just say no. And this is the thing, is that when these pieces pop up, this is what I love doing with my clients, is that they come and they say, okay, I'm really frustrated with this is happening. And I really can't stand it that, my mother, she's so self-deprecating and she really puts herself down and it's driving me crazy. And instead of saying, oh, yeah, it's really awful that your mother's doing that, instead of going that route, I'm like, okay, well, what's going on for you? What's the piece that's being poked at? What's the piece that's surfacing that's ready to come out? Because that's where the gold is. When we take that time to really say, what is actually going on here beyond the surface level? Because there's that first surface level of how dare they ask? I've worked so hard for my money. How dare they ask for this? How dare they pitch me on something that's like a ridiculous amount of money? That's the surface. That's not the actual problem. And it's going to vary because, I can give you some scenarios, but that may not be the piece for you. And this is why I love getting like a one-on-one kind of with people, because the roots of it vary from person to person. The reason that you don't like being asked for money can change. For some people, it's that they're not willing to say no. For other people, it's that they've never allowed themselves to ask. So they've never had permission to ask. And so how dare somebody else have permission to ask? And so either way, it can be this reflection of what is going on inside. Then there can be the piece of, you've worked really hard for your money. You're successful. You've got money coming in. And how dare somebody try to take it away? So those are just three possibilities. Honestly, the list of possibilities are endless. It can even get down to, taking on a belief or a program from your parents that you don't realize is niggling in there still. But the thing is that when we move those pieces out, I promise you that the situation where that used to drive you crazy, like let's say this scenario where people are like, how dare they ask me for money? How dare they pitch me on something that's really expensive? How dare they, whatever that is. What'll happen is that there won't be the charge. It'll just be like, it's a yes or it's a no. It's like, it's a fit or it's a not a fit. And there won't be all of that upheaval on an emotional level in order to be facing it. So this is the value of constantly doing your deeper inner work, is that we move these things out quickly. Because here's what I know with, all of my clients before they start working with me, challenges come up and it disrupts the day. You lose at least a day churning it over, if not a week. And this is what happens. We have all this mental capacity that is being eaten up by our emotional state, and we're losing productivity, we're losing clarity, and we are losing peace because we're not at ease. That's a huge cost. What's the return on investment on a day for you? What's your hourly rate? What does that work out to for one day lost or one day being half productive? What is that worth? That's a lot, as opposed to getting in there, just dismantling it in 15, 20, half an hour, super fast. If we can get things moving, what's that worth? And this is the thing. It's like lots of people want to look at strategy and say, oh, I need a new strategy and this strategy isn't working. But the honest reality is that if something's getting in the way of you taking the action and implementing the strategy, that's what needs to be addressed. And while there is not necessarily a direct ROI or correlation, there is. Because what does it cost you? What does it cost you to be stuck? What does it cost you to be not in action? And what does it cost you emotionally? And then, of course, that translates into your health as well. So there's huge costs in not dealing with these emotional pieces. And there's huge rewards long-term for your business because it speeds up the momentum. All right, so every opportunity of things that piss you off is an opportunity to start to get some more awareness. And the pieces that really tick you off, those are good ones to work with somebody like me. Just saying. All right, if you are ready to get someone on your side who is really willing to hold a space for you to move through your pieces quickly and easily, head over to bookdana.in and we'll have a conversation on the house. All right, we'll see you on the next one.